Alright, good evening. I'm doing a quick, well, I don't know how quick it's going to be, doing a video blog of basically talking about the next events on Friday, Saturday this week, followed by possibly more snow next week, so it's going to be a busy time. It's February could be a pretty, as National Reserve said in the weather discussion this afternoon, February 2019 could be memorable. It is shaping up to be a memorable one, potentially. So I'll just start. Seattle Tacoma International Airport officially recorded 2.7 inches of snow between Sunday night and Monday. So that places us already. Oops. Okay, that places us already as the 12th snowiest February, right here. I'm trying to find a circle, but can't remember where they were. Of on record, right here. On record in Seattle, and so there you go. The 12th snowiest record, February on record. There are obviously snowier months, such as January 1950, which had a lot more snow than this month did. Matter of fact, we probably December to end January is 7 snowier. So January of 1950 had I think 50 some or 60 inches. Waiting for this to load, but I'll come back to that in a minute. So just thought I would bring that up. 57.2 right there. So obviously still a long way to go before we get anywhere close to records, but it was a very snowy period back in the 50s, and so just a little quick update. But we still have a long way to go, but we have some more chances of snow. So I'm not saying we're gonna get close. I just happened to be looking at it. So anyway, this is Seattle snow by winter. Apparently these graphs missed from 1996, 97 through 2003, 2004. I'm not really sure why. But you see typically we don't average a whole lot. I mean, I think Seattle averages 6.8 inches of snow a year, but we have these really high values back again, 1969, 70, and 50, 51. Sorry, 49, 50, I should say. We used to have more snowier periods back in the 50s and 60s. And even since 2004, we had that 23.3 inches back in 2008, 2009, mostly December of 08. Excuse me. But we haven't had more than 11 inches in an entire season since then. So most seasons we don't really have that much. I mean, here's 5 inches. So just of the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The past 14 years, we only had 4 seasons above 5 inches. So that tells you most of the time we don't get a whole lot. That said, let's look at what's coming next. So because there is more on the way. And what's interesting about this is I'm going to go to just the general pattern again real quick. I've shown you this before. But this is the afternoon run, which I haven't even seen this afternoon run of the GFS model yet. But afternoon run of the GFS model, we have this ridge here in the Pacific, as we've had with this trough in the west. And if you're watching my videos, you know I go pattern as a ridge over here and then kind of trough like this. So this ridge is now further south, opening up, moving east. So we're clearing out, but it used to look more like this northern one that I just had your second here. But our next weather maker is actually kind of this. It's really this little trough is going to come up here, and it's going to bring down this lobe of cold air down into the northwest this weekend. So run through this here. So as we go through this weekend, now this is actually tomorrow. We now see two lows. We see this low down here, which is much more offshore. It's going to be weekend, go down to California. It's actually kind of what happened the last time with this last system, but now we see a low developing up here, and this is what's going to bring down this cold air into the northwest if you keep watching this. So now we're going into Thursday, and then this is Friday afternoon. So by Friday afternoon, this low has weakened going to California, as I said, but it's this right here, it's this low right here, pulling in this cold air from the northeast, which is what we need for snow here. We get cold air off the continent, we get low near the coast to bring in moisture, and so this is set up for potentially, and I'll get to this, but potentially significant snow with this next one on Friday, Saturday. And just looking at this GFS appears to be actually closer to the coast even than the last one, than the last model run was, which is, I'll look at the snow amounts in a bit because I haven't actually looked at it. So we get cold air, and then we get the moisture coming around the low. And this is another good set. Now, this is a good setup for snow. Now, you don't necessarily have to have the ridge here and come like this. This, in this case, it's actually come this way, but it's actually maybe even more ideal setup. But for snow, so that comes, this load actually does kind of go a little more offshore on GFS model, but I'll show you the European model in a little bit here. But I wanted to show you while I'm on this model, while I'm on the screen, just keep watching the pattern. And this low, this is now Monday, this low is sticking around here in the northwest. This cold air is sticking around, and this is what I find could be kind of interesting. Unlike this past one, this low did not just go, down and open up and not over here that quickly. It's actually kind of hanging around. European done this. GFS has been slower to do this, but looks like this run is now starting to do the same thing. And this ridge starts breaking down, so we start getting a connection between this low, which can potentially reinforce that low and that cold air. And as we keep going, this low, this is now Tuesday, and we still have this low offshore, still onshore flow, still this cold air in place. So it could be not only a significant event for Friday, Saturday, but it could be a significant event continuing at times through Monday, Tuesday. And then that low finally exits as this ridge starts building in. This low finally starts going down. This is now Wednesday. So this low has been hanging around here basically from Friday through Tuesday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days of potential snow chances in a row. And we'll see what other runs do. But as I keep going forward, just watch this pattern just keeps rebuilding. This ridge, and then another one, another low coming down the coast. Same thing, cold air, moisture, same kind of pattern, and that's a potential another snow bringer. This is now Thursday, Friday next week, and then again next Saturday. GFS finally moves this ridge in before it brings another. Well, it doesn't really bring that other one down. It kind of ends the pattern here. But this is, at this point, this is 2 weeks away, so much can change between now and then. And I'll show you some of these other major models. Like all the major models do the same sort of pattern. So here is the European model, one of the other major models. It's potentially even more accurate most of the time. Let's go on. That's the beginning. So this only goes through 10 days as opposed to 2 weeks. So here's this weekend's, oh no, mine, sorry, this is the one that we just had. Okay, this is now tomorrow morning. So this is the European model, and here's the next event coming down, and there it is now for Saturday morning, right there. And then European model, so our surface low, this is now Sunday morning. We still have a surface low here, another low here. Cold air is still in place, And then when we go into Monday morning now, we start getting, again, this connection across the Pacific to these lows, and kind of reinforces this low, reinforces the cold air. Like it's what the Europeans been doing. The GFS, I don't think has been doing it to that extent, except for the past run. And there's the low still hanging around Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, and this is Wednesday morning. This is cold air still in place. This low still off Vancouver Island, still onshore flow. So this is what is a little interesting, a little concerning. It could be a multi-day significant snow event, potentially. And then that's through 10 days. That's next Friday, and the whole time, European kind of keeps that upper ridge along this. Now, doesn't mean it's going to snow the whole entire time. It depends on where moisture ends up and stuff. But there could be chances the whole time until the low moves south. So that's the European model, and again, that's through 10 days. The Canadian model, here's a Canadian model, and I'll show you the same sort of pattern here. Go to the current time, which is now. So I won't annotate and just kind of watch. This is the next one coming down here, right there. That's for Friday. That's Friday at 4 p.m. And the low is coming off the coast, and then the Canadian does actually dive it south, but it then brings the next low right down right afterwards. Now for Sunday. So there's another one Sunday, and then keeps that cold air over us the northwest. Although the Canadian model doesn't actually have a lot of, it doesn't really have a low pressure system here to bring us the moisture and the lift for the snow, but it does still have that cold pattern in place. And then there's the next one right there on the Canadian model 10 days out. I can go through all these. This is the Japanese model. Basically, I'm showing you a whole bunch of models because the more models that agree, the more likely something's gonna happen. And if it's a long-term pattern, then more likely long-term pattern is gonna happen. So here's the next one on the Japanese model. This is now for Saturday morning, and that goes down, and then here is Monday morning again. It's just right after this first one, and so kind of keeps the cold air in place. Let's see what else. NavGen, which is actually the U.S. Navy model, which isn't the best model, but when this model agrees with the others, then something might be getting, and then they might be onto something. But here's this weekend's, and then it kind of has a hint at something else coming down. But this only goes through Monday, so it's not the best model. We also like looking at ensembles. So ensemble forecasts average a whole bunch of different possible solutions to the atmosphere by one model. So here's the European ensembles. This is the average of like 50 members for the European ensemble, and here is Saturday's, and then the ensembles keep that cold air in place as well as low pressure off the coast. So when an average of 50 different solutions has this, it's likely going to be happening and then anyway the cold air stays in place. And then here's another one as this pattern just persists even on the ensembles. So because if the average the average is a mean of a whole bunch of different possibilities, so it's going to be smoothed out greatly. This is the Gfs model under this. So the US, ensembles to the US average, and I could just keep showing you these, and I'll show you two more. Same kind of pattern: weekend, Tuesday, and there's another one. So that ridge is kind of hanging around to the east now. This starts building ridge back to the east in the long term, but and then the Canadian ensemble numbers. Let's say all load here. So here's the weekend event right there, and then the Canadian ensembles just hold that cold air and that low in place through the weekend. Again, just like most other models, and then still into next week. Just that low just stays offshore. That's really odd. But anyway, it could be an interesting next week, in other words. So I'm going to go back to GFS because I haven't looked at the 18Z run. I don't know if that 0Z is probably not starting to come in yet. I'm going to look at change it to Northwest. All right, so this is its solution to where precipitation is, and doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean, because it changes every model run. Every model is different. This is just what the past run said. This is what the model figured out. Well, this is what it thinks is going to happen for the atmosphere. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to. But this is now Friday. If I use this, because we can't see this for the European model, for example. So this is Friday. This low is here, just west of Vancouver Island now. Cold air coming down. We're already getting snow here up at Bellingham, north of Seattle, north of Everett, on Friday morning. Actually, this is Friday. Yeah, this is Friday morning at 10 o'clock. And then recent trends, even as of this morning, have been, we're going to get this snow starting Friday during the day. So if you're working in, this is in Seattle, not in Portland area. Still going to be warm. Snow levels are going to be higher on Friday. Before, it's just kind of like this past event where the low didn't, until the low was pretty much at the same longitude of Portland, you didn't really get cold enough at sea level for snow. But this is Friday afternoon now. This is 4 p.m. So snow all the way, basically from Seattle northward. Tacoma actually still has rain, according to this. I mean, obviously that could be different, but essentially the cold air is starting to come down. Arctic front looks like it's kind of right in here. So, and then that low moves south, and this GFS, like I said, was a little closer to shore this time than last time, a little closer, but I mean, this is continuing snow Saturday in the whole Seattle area. Pretty, I don't know, I have to look to see what the snow values are, but it has rain in the Lowland Valley in Portland. Again, this low is not far enough south yet to see a lot of those snow levels coming down quite yet in Portland. So I think Portland is going to be rain Friday, at least in Saturday morning, and then it changes over in Portland potentially Saturday. But then what happens with available moisture and precipitation? This low can go anywhere. As we saw in this last event, none of these model solutions were really that accurate until it got right by the event. The low went actually close to the coast, and we saw this precipitation shield coming up into Seattle. Could happen again this time. This is some ways similar to this past event, some ways a little different. But anyway, at this point, Saturday afternoon, possibly a changeover, afternoon to evening changeover in Portland, but again, who knows how much snow, and it could be a little different timing too, depending on where this low exactly goes. Snow starting in Seattle on Friday afternoon, and so then this low kind of hangs around, kind of goes down south, and this is now Sunday, and look, so the low still on eastern Oregon coast, and here's the next one kind of redeveloping right up here on the GFS. Again, I haven't looked at this one yet. This is starting to come more closer to the European solution, but there's the next one, and rotating more precipitation around. And then Tuesday, same thing. So it'll be a multi-day event where we could see several periods of snow, several areas of snow around. And then here's the next one coming in. It's like 10 days away. More snow coming in for Thursday, Friday, potentially next week too. That's a week and a half away, so I'm not too worried about that. Looking at this multi-day possible event, let's see what the snow. I would do 24-hour, but yeah, it's a little more than 24 hours possibly in length. So let's see what the total snowfall amounts are on this run. Now, don't get hung up on what this says, but because it could easily be different than what this model run says. So let me zoom in a little bit. So this has, okay, I'm gonna actually go somewhere else. I think it says 3 inches. Okay, I think it says 3 inches in Seattle, which is a little odd, but well, not a little odd, but it's I can't make out that's exactly what it is. So let's just see what this one will be a little easier to read. So the GFS model run, yeah, that's what I thought. It's actually 8 inches, so that makes more sense based on the multi-day event with several rounds that it was showing. So the GFS model, again, don't take this as what's going to happen, because it's going to change quite a bit. This is just based on what this particular model, where it had the snow, and it looks more like the European than the early morning model design did. So it has 8 inches in Seattle, 8 inches in Tacoma, 1 inch a little over an inch in Portland, about an inch down to the Willamette Valley. Of course, high amounts in the Olympics. 6 to 7 inches north of Seattle. So, I mean, these are going to change, as I said. So, but that's just one possibility, or one possible solution. Let me see what other European model. We can't get snowfall on here. I can look at it somewhere else, but I have not done that, and I will pause the video and look at it, and then come back to it a little bit after I look at all these others. But this is the Canadian model, it looks like. So the Canadian model has, this is through basically the whole entire event. It has 3 inches in Seattle, 3 inches in Portland, basically 3 inches all over the lowlands. The NAM model only goes through a certain time period, so I will look at that in a minute. GFS ensembles, again, we can't see exactly. Well, we can kind of get an idea though. Oh, this is snow depth. So, this is snow depth. So, like for Seattle, this actually includes the current snow. But so, which is said. So if we look at here, the snow depth that had Seattle like 3-4 inches on the ground. Although I think we lost some of that snow cover today. But by Tuesday, the ensembles have 7 inches on the ground in Seattle, 6 inches in Tacoma, 2 inches in Portland. So about the same kind of pattern as the regular GFS had. And all right, so I'll look at that's all I'll look at on here. Before I look at the European snowfall. Actually, I already looked at the European snowfall earlier today because the new run isn't in yet. So the European snowfall today, from this morning, had about 6 inches in Seattle, and well, actually, that was only for Saturday. So I'll look at it in a minute. But here's the this is the NAM model, which has 4 inches in Seattle, but this is only through Saturday morning, so that's as far as it goes. So let me show you what it does in terms of where snow's falling. So here's the radar, simulated radar. Snow beginning up here north of Seattle, up in Bellingham, on Friday morning, expanding down to the Seattle area now. Again, this is Friday afternoon. This is 1 p.m. Friday. No, yeah, 1 p.m. Friday. This is 1 p.m. Friday already. Snow in Seattle. So snow will probably start during the day. So even if it's not snowing in the morning, it might be snowing up in Bellingham in the morning. It looks like it's going to be coming south during the day of Friday. So if you go into work and it's not snowing yet, you might have a snowy commute home if you live in the Seattle area. And then that basically spreads south. It has this low really close to the coast, which is fairly similar to what happened this past event too, in a way. and the NAMS was more accurate on the position of the low than the GFS was at this time frame for this last event. So this is as far as GFS goes. 12Z, which is 4 o'clock in the morning Saturday, our low just north of the mouth of Columbia River. Again, this kind of looks like what happened last time. Here's snow on the east side. So it looks like snow in Seattle from Friday afternoon at least through Friday night into Saturday morning and probably beyond. And rain in, again, we're right in the Willamette Valley, but once that low starts moving south, I think Portland will probably change over more like Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, kind of a day later, kind of like it just did this past event too. So that's the latest. Let me pause this for just a second. You won't even notice it. Alright, so I'm back, and as I said, you probably didn't even notice it at all because I just paused the video. I just paused the recording. So I just looked at the European model from what I could look at, and it does have what I was thinking. So it has 6 inches in Seattle, Friday night into Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. It has 2 to 3 inches in Portland, and then if you include the multi-day event, if you go through Tuesday morning, if that is at low, if that trough does sit offshore here in the northwest through Tuesday, which most models are now starting to indicate this is what's going to happen. Multi-day snow event, potential different, several different chances. The current European forecast is for actually 10 to 12 inches in both Seattle and Portland throughout the whole event. So again, that can definitely change, but the potential is there for significant snow and possibly significant multi-day event as this low sits here. So Friday through Tuesday, right now, potentially looking at multi-day snow, as I have said about 1 billion times now. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else to show you at the moment. Some of our models don't go out that far. Like I said, the NAMS just starting to come into view for this. A lot of these short-term models just kind of start coming into view. Ensembles, I don't know if we have GFS ensembles. This is at trough Northwest and Saturday morning, but I'm trying to figure out if there's if this will show you. So this will kind of show you sea level pressure, and let me see if I can go to a different view. Western U.S. I don't know if it's gonna help any. It might. So this is the GFS ensemble mean, and again Saturday morning this low sitting off the coast, not yet down the Portland longitude. So, and I mentioned Portland's longitude because just like this past event, if you notice, this actually is a good map because it shows our winds. So these are the winds. So like this is a northwest wind. It's coming from northwest. So the wind's coming from whatever direction these flags are pointing toward. So our flow around a low pressure system is counterclockwise, and a little bit into to the low pressure system. But south of this low, we have pretty much onshore flow. If you can see, these winds pretty much westerly. And what this does is it keeps warm air, it keeps snow levels up because it's bringing air off the ocean. It kind of prevents colder air from coming through the gorge. So that's kind of doesn't happen because we have these westerly winds. So that keeps snow levels up. So as long as this low is north of Portland, probably not. I mean, I say probably not because it's still possible. And then, of course, not only do we have onshore flow, but we also have southeast of the low, we have southerly winds coming up through the Willamette Valley. So it doesn't help. Helps bring in warm offshore air as well. Up in Seattle area, we have also southeasterly winds that's coming from the land, as opposed to coming from offshore waters. So this is the sea level pressure, and it moves south, and this is when Portland can start getting into the snow again. This is Saturday night, and then I'm just looking at the sea level pressure average. We have our next low. It's just looking at the sea level pressure. It's hard to tell exactly the cold air, but we already kind of looked at that. I was trying to find something else actually, but total accumulated precip, so you can see a lot of precipitation is forecast to accumulate. This blue is the first blue is half an inch, so this is anywhere from half an inch to an inch in the valleys. And if that's all snow, that could be 6 to 12 inches of snow. This is through next Thursday now. Let's see what else. Just trying to figure out what else I can show you. But okay. Oh, let me show you temperatures. This is an average temperature, but the GFS ensemble has a tough time. Could have a tough time with the mountains. So see that that's pretty cold, and that was its forecast for tomorrow morning, for tomorrow morning. So but it does keep pretty cold the whole way. I'll look at the GFS GFS temperatures. That'll be a little better. I'll show you temperatures. Let's see what GFS temperatures look like. Okay, so here's GFS forecast temperatures. Let's see what this does. This is an analysis of what actually happened. So this was Monday. Let me go back. So this was on Sunday morning. This is what GFS said happened. So on Sunday, the cold air came down from the north, and Bellingham changed to snow in the morning. This is actually not 4 p.m. Monday though. We had a rain-snow mix here in the Seattle area, and Portland was still rain. And then as we got into go back to it's not gonna work for me, is it? There we go. Now Sunday night, Monday. So by Monday morning, Seattle was snowing and all below freezing. Portland was still above freezing. So this is just what it says happened. So this has already happened. So it knows that it happened. And then Monday afternoon, Portland's still above freezing, but then it cooled down yesterday evening, last night, and Portland got a little bit of snow in the Portland area last night. Maybe not the one. I said 1 to 3. I think I got reported 1 inch there. So it was in the lower end of the range, but it was in the range. So this was today. So warmed up today to above freezing in most places, and then tonight's gonna cool down again, and then we're up above freezing on Thursday, and then Friday. I'm sorry, that was Wednesday. This is Thursday. We're up above freezing on Thursday. There you go. And then Friday morning. And here's Friday at 10 o'clock. So this is when it's already starting to snow up here on Friday. And then Friday afternoon, it still has above freezing. So in the Seattle area, the GFS model, but with some snow. So snow levels must be pretty close to 32. Maybe 34 or something like that, 32, 34 on this forecast model for it to have snow. Anyway, Saturday. So go into long term. Let's go into long term. Pretty much highs around freezing, lows pretty much in the 20s. So it does have it cooling down more. And don't pay attention to these numbers because a lot of these numbers are in the mountains. So I'm trying to look in the valleys, but so the long term it has pretty cool, but here that's pretty cool. Again, this 14, 11 are in mountains, so don't ignore that. Didn't pay a lot of attention to that, but just I'm just looking at the colors in the valleys. So, but that's way in the long term, so nothing. Anyway, I think I'm running out of things to show you right now. It's probably because I won't look at everything myself yet for this. But in short, Friday we're looking at snow up in Bellingham in the morning, snow increasing into the Seattle area moving south into Seattle area, I should say, by afternoon on Friday, and then probably snowing in Seattle from Friday afternoon through Saturday morning at least, potentially. It's not a given yet. Depends on how close to shore that low goes to and where the bands of precipitation go. Saturday, rain changing to snow in Portland probably Saturday afternoon into evening, and then potentially snowing overnight on Saturday night. Again, still a lot to change. But that, and then the cold air and the low pressure offshore may actually hang around and continue to bring moisture in all the way through Tuesday. There'll probably be breaks in that, but potentially several different episodes of snow during that time period. So something to look to keep an eye on, and watch weather reports, and contact me if you know how to contact me, and ask me if I have looked at it recently. Because I do look at it for work too, so I don't work every day, but I work most days. So anyway, and even on days I don't work, I was gonna say I teach, but I actually don't teach Thursday because we have the day off, and so I give a weather discussion during class. But I will give one tomorrow, but not Thursday because we don't have class Thursday. So we do Monday, maybe, unless there's snow around and they cancel classes again. But anyway, so that's it for now. I will end this tonight and maybe update you tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure about that yet, but hopefully I'll get a chance to tomorrow. So that's it for now. Have a good night. Bye.